Hello, WPF viewers. Skippy here, coach of the Steel City Surge, back for the Week 7 matchup battle against Rose and the Las Vegas Rotoms. This is Week 7. We are 3-3 currently. We are slightly negative in point differential, so we're just out of the playoff race. Hopefully, we can string a few wins together at the end of the season here and make a playoff push. It would be a great feeling for me to turn the season around after 3 straight losses. But yeah, we're getting ready to go into the match against Rose. So bear with us here for a minute or two, and we'll see you in the actual battle with the team preview. So yeah, catch you guys in a few minutes. All right, everyone, we're back here in team preview. So a little bit of a mix-up in preparation. So in looking at my opponent's team going into this matchup, well, first off, there's no Toros. I removed 2 Mons from the roster that I didn't think would show up at all. That being Swalot and Vigoroth. And lo and behold, we're seeing a Swalot on the other side of the field. So I'm not prepared for that. But we do see Terra Water on Necrozma, so not very surprising there. We do see Bronzong as well, no Diancie. Best of luck to Rose. This is going to be an interesting match, I think. The lead is IHOP. That's a Cinderace. Okay. So, Cinderace lead. A Hydro here can knock this thing out. I think I'm just going to go for that. If he wants to U-turn... I think I'm going to actually Volt Switch. I'm going to Volt Switch because I think he goes for a U-turn, and if he does into Blood Moon, I should be fine. Nah. We're going to make the easy play and go for a Hydro. Make the easy play and go for a Hydro. Does U-turn. It is Libero. It's going to do 241 to 135. Jeez. That did 44%. That is Adamant, or it's Banded. I'm going to assume that's Banded. That's good information to note. McDonald's. That's a Swalot. Okay. How much are we doing with this Hydro? That is Black Sludge. Okay. We're gonna Volt Switch. Just stay in. Get a little bit more chip onto it. If he wants to go for a knockoff, I think that's fine, but I don't want to get toxic on anything. I could go into Wheezing. Although I'm not doing much damage, I think Boulder is the best play here. We do see Toxic Spikes. Okay. So for right now, this is okay. I am going to Salt Cure, I think. Nothing really likes Silk here. Do see knockoff to 339. Okay. I am going to throw up my rocks now. If he wants to stay in, he can stay in. He goes for Pain Split. Okay, interesting. I think that's fine, because I go for rocks. We're at 264 now, too, so... I can go for another Salt Cure here. I'm not super worried about going for recover right now. Plus, if he wants to swap, he does swap. So we're gonna get a Salt Cure on something. That something is Taco Bell. It's the Bronzong. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. Okay. So I can go for a recover here. I don't think I'm worried too much about what this wants to do just yet. I kind of just want to see what happens. Although I do want to... how much is Bronzong's Psychic doing to Weezing? It's doing a lot. Yeah, we're gonna recover. I want to keep Garg healthy. Goes for rocks. Okay. So that's a little annoying. But I can go for another Salt Cure here and just chip this thing down a ton. Because if it doesn't want to stay in and wants to swap out to something, something's going to take a lot of damage from Salt Cure. So Garg is putting in a ton of work already, which is really good. He does swap, so we're going to get another Salt Cure off, which is huge. And the best thing is there's no Slowking either. Jamba Juice. That's the Zarude. Okay. We get a little bit more chip onto the Zarude. That's good. That's very good. We're getting a lot of chip off onto this thing, which is great. Now I think we can hard swap and we can go into Weezing. We are going to take a little bit of damage from Stealth Rock. But Zarude does next to no damage to us, and we can defog these hazards away. Garg is putting in a lot of chip work, which is great. What do we see here? We see a Hyper Voice special. Interesting. Throat Spray special Zarude. That could be a threat, actually. So +1, it barely does if it's modest to us. I don't think Zarude gets anything special. Let me look up special. Yeah, it doesn't really get anything that can threaten us a ton at this point, so we're gonna defog. Goes for Hyper Voice again. We live that very easily, so we go for a defog. Get rid of all the hazards here. I see a lot more chip onto the Zarude, which is huge. We can swap hard into Dirge right now, I think, and feel pretty fine. He's going to keep Hyper Voicing. I mean, he could have Dark Pulse, which could be an issue, but we are unaware. Dark Pulse does not 2-hit KO us. So we can slack off here and just hope we don't get flinched. If we do get flinched, then that feels bad, man. But we're gonna go for a slack off. Let's go for a Dark Pulse. We live that. We do get flinched, of course we do. That is so annoying. So unbelievably annoying. Is there anything on his team? I could use this for the Bronzong. I want to keep Weezing. I think Landorus might be the most expendable in this matchup. Yeah, Landorus is kind of the most expendable. We can go into Landorus here. Get an Intimidate off. It's not really going to do anything. But we live a Dark Pulse from Zarude. Goes for Dark Pulse again. We live that. And I think it goes down to Soul Cure now. It does. Okay. Okay, so that's good. That's a pretty big threat out of the way. Choice Band. White Castle. That's got to be the Necrozma, right? Yep, that's the Necrozma. So we're at 207 currently. 65%. A Meteor Beam could be a problem. If it is Trick Room. If we go to +2, we can do so much damage to this thing. I am inclined to Swords Dance. And then see what happens. If he wants to Terra Water and Terra Blast, that definitely knocks us out. But like I said before, we don't really need Lando at the moment. I'm going to Swords Dance and see what happens. He stays in. What does he go for? Sub. Okay. Might be sub setup. Interesting. We're gonna go for an EQ here, because that'll easily break the sub. And because it didn't proc leftovers or anything, I don't want to go for U-turn because I'm afraid that's going to like proc a weakness policy or something. Goes for Photon Geyser. We live that. We do live that. We live that very easily. So something's going to take a +2 Earthquake here. And the only thing on his team that really likes that is Bronzong, and we can U-turn off of that. So we're going to go for an EQ. Nothing wants to take a +2 Earthquake from Landorus Therian. So this is a very good position to be in for us. We are in a very good position. One of his two potential, because I believe Bronzong is probably going to be Levitate. Does swap out. If he goes into the Bronzong, that's fair play, because nothing else really likes. Yeah, nothing else really wants to take this, so that's Levitate. So we kind of expected. I don't think Bronzong does much to us. A U-turn's going to do roughly 30 to 36%. I think I can go for a U-turn into... we're going to go into Skeledirge and get a Slack off. Oh, we actually get the KO on Bronzong. Okay, cool. So we don't have to worry about rocks. And now Landorus is actually looking pretty solid for later. So I actually like going into Rotom here. Because if he wants to go Swalot, that's fine. Goes into McDonald's. Okay. That's a Swalot. So I'm going to Volt Switch. I'm going to Volt Switch and we're going to go into Weezing because... Knockoff is not going to knock us out. And we can go for a Defog right after, so we're going to go for a Volt Switch. Get some good chip. Go into Weezing. We are at 66 HP, but on Weezing, 66 HP is 20%. Does go for knockoff, that's fine. That does very little, and we get more chip off onto the Swalot, which is great. So with the recovery, just a little bit above a quarter. 2 flamethrowers should be able to... It's Black Sludge. It's at, what, 27% roughly? It's a high percent chance to 2-hit KO if we flamethrower here, so we're gonna go for a flamethrower. If we can get a burn, that would be huge. We do not get the burn. We do see a Toxic Spikes though, so we can go for a defog. We can go for a defog for free here. Which is fine because I don't think he really has anything to hit us. Potentially. He could have a poison move. I feel like if he had a poison move, he would have clicked it there. We're not going to let him get free spikes up. Does go for poison jab, so that's probably going to knock us out, yeah. Okay. Okay, so really good news. We can go in with Landorus and force something to take an EQ. So we're going to go straight for an EQ because I do not want Toxic Spikes on the field. He is going to give us a Swalot too. That's huge. Okay. And we can still get our rocks up. The problem is I don't want to chance potential court change. I don't want to chance that quite yet. Things are looking very good for us at the moment, though. And with that Necrozma having already been shipped from Substitute, I hop. That's the Cinderace again. I actually kind of like going into Skeledirge and potentially sacking it because it really depends. Because Skeledirge is on 95 HP right now. If he Pyro Balls, I think he U-turns. I'm gonna go into Dirge. Because it's Terra Water Necrozma, Skeledirge is not as useful in the matchup. Does go for Pyro Ball, so it's gonna knock us out. That's fine. Okay. I think we could go hard back into Lando, get that Intimidate off. Because at 136, with an Intimidate, even if it's Choice Band, 43% Pyro Ball does do a lot of damage. How much is Pyro Ball at -1 doing to Garg? That's doing very little. So we can go into Landorus here, get that Intimidate off, and then hard swap into Garg. Get that Intimidate off. And then hard swap into Garganical. You do see another Pyro Ball come out. Does to 247. 384 to 247. That was a crit. So 247. So he did 36%, and that was a crit. Crit Pyro Ball. Is that? He's not banned. He must... Is he Scarf? He might be Scarf. Might be Scarf Adamant. Scarf Adamant lines up, yeah. Alright, so that's Scarf Adamant. Good to know. Very good to know. So that's scary for later. I'm gonna recover. Goes for U-turn. Oh, he's not Scarf. What? Okay. I am just... You might be Adamant then. I don't know what I am going on about here. Honestly, this is fine though, because... Hardee's. That's definitely the Ursaluna. Yup. We get to 376 here with the Blood Moon. Ursaluna, Blood Moon. If it is Uber's Bear, we go Terra Grass. Terra Blast is going to do probably a 2-shot. Unless it is bulky. If it is bulky, we do a solid chunk. I think we Terra into... Yeah, we Terra this. We go for... I'm gonna go for Assault Cure, so we can get some residual damage on this. The whole plan for this was to get Terra on Garg. We still have Rotom for the Cinderace. Rotom does kind of check a lot of what is left, too, so I gotta keep that in mind. You see Trailblaze! Okay! Trailblaze Blood Moon. And that is speed boosted. So, with this boost here... With this... With the residual damage, this should do a massive chunk of damage. Because that has some speed, I think. No, it doesn't have speed. Because we're not speed invested. Alright, so we can go for a Terra Blast. And then recover next turn. Blood Moon, that's fine. Down to 186, we can Terra Blast and then recover. That is a lot of damage. That is weakness policy. That is brutal. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I don't like that. So that's not good. I wasn't even thinking about that. That's +2 bear now. +2 bear Hyper Voice definitely KOs Garg. I think I can go ahead and... It's at +1 speed right now, so... It doesn't quite outspeed Darkrai. But that definitely was not... That's definitely not bulk investment. I'm gonna go into Landorus and hope he doesn't Hyper Voice. If he Hyper Voices, that's annoying. If he Trailblazes again, that's also annoying. But I don't think he can risk it. I think he has to go Hyper Voice. Let's go Hyper Voice. Okay, good. So with that being said, we can go into Darkrai and Ice Beam. Because... Well, Vacuum Wave would do a lot of damage to us. At +2 if it's modest. But I don't think that's a problem. We can just go for a Dark Pulse, honestly. Go for a Dark Pulse. Dark Pulse would KO this from here, too. And he doesn't have Vacuum Wave. Okay, good. We take down the Blood Moon. Okay. And the other good thing is, too, because we know that the Cinderace isn't choiced now, we can go for a Dark Pulse on anything. Because I don't think Necrozma, even Terra Water... Like, if it's Trick Room, which it could be, we live whatever it wants to go for. We can go for a sub right away if we wanted to. Goes into IHOP. Okay, so the Cinderace comes out. We definitely live a U-turn, unless it's Adamant. Unless it's Adamant, there might be a chance we go down. I'm going to go for a Dark Pulse, though. We're going to go for a Dark Pulse and hope we get a flinch. Get down to 2. It does go for U-turn. Okay. We live on 30. So now he's going into the Necrozma. And the Cinderace has also chipped down a ton. Man, this is a close game. This is a subset too, so I think I can go for a Dark Pulse pretty free here. If he wants to go for Terra Water, that'd be like his only play to live, potentially, and not go down. We're gonna go for a Dark Pulse and hope we get the flinch. This is a very close game. This is gonna come down to the last Mon or two, I think. If Darkrai goes down here, he does Terra Water. If Darkrai goes down here, we absolutely go into guard. That's a large amount of damage. He goes for sub. Okay, that is actually good. That is actually very good. So now he's on very minimal HP. We can go for another Dark Pulse. We can go for another Dark Pulse and then set up Garg to take this thing down because it does not have recovery. It might have Moonlight. And if it does, that's going to be annoying, but it's going to give us more opportunities to get a knockout here. We might have this. It really depends on this turn here. Having Darkrai for later is going to be nice, but if it ends up being not it, he does go for Moonlight. Okay. We just need a single flinch. If we can get a singular flinch from Dark Pulse. If we get a singular flinch on this turn, this game might be sealed. We do not get the flinch. He goes for Moonlight again, though. Trying to go all the way up to max HP. Trying to do as much as possible. We are gaining a little bit of HP back every single turn. I'm going to keep going for Dark Pulse. If we can get a flinch, we might be able to snag it. Especially if I can go for a Charge Beam. Do not get the flinch again. I'm going to keep going for it until we get that flinch, because that flinch is so good for us. And every turn we keep doing this, we keep putting pressure on him. Because he can't swap. If he swaps, he loses Cinderace. And that's his guard check at the moment. That's his guard check and potential answer. Right now, we still have Rotom. Getting a flinch here would be so clutch. We do not. We get Terra Blasted. Okay. He is going to take us out. What does Rotom do for me here? I don't like Rotom here because Photon Geyser takes us out, so we got to go into Garg. Photon Geyser does not take us out from here. If he has Heat Wave, it probably does. I'm going to recover, though, and hope we can get a lot of HP back. It really depends if he has Heat Wave or if he has Photon Geyser or if he has both. Because well, he has Photon Geyser. But it really depends on what the last move is. Because Terra Blast takes the spot of one move. And the fact that he hasn't clicked something yet has me concerned. Does go for Photon Geyser. We do live that. We do live that. We get HP back, so that means he doesn't have Heat Wave. If he had Heat Wave, he would have used it. 258. Okay. We're at 67% right now. So we don't quite live 2 Photon Geysers at the moment. So I'm inclined to go for another recover here and get as close to max as I possibly can. If he does have Heat Wave and he goes for it here, we definitely live it. But I don't think he has it. If he didn't go for it there, yeah, he just has Photon Geyser. That's his 3rd Photon Geyser. He has 5 more. We only have 4 more recovers. We can go for Assault Cure here and then recover after. Going for Assault Cure here either does Massive Chip. He goes for Moonlight. That's fine. It's fine. We get our Salt Cure off, so that's doing a quarter every turn. So he's on a timer. He's more or less on a timer. That's right. The last move was Moonlight. Yeah, so he never had Heat Wave in the first place. So I'm going to go for Terra Blast because that Cinderace is not choice. I'm very concerned about that. We live that. I think next turn, after this Terra Blast, we can go for a Recover. It's a large chunk of damage. There is a weakness policy. Okay. That's what I was afraid of. But I don't think +2 Necrozma... Oh, Photon Geyser might knock us out. We're at 218. Yeah, Photon Geyser would knock us out. So that was a very bad decision on my part. And... I mean, this actually works out a lot better than you thought, because I can just keep going for Terra Blast here. If he tries to Moonlight, we take down the Necrozma. Necrozma is going to go down here. We trade. We go into Cinderace versus Rotom. And I think Rotom wins that 1v1 with a Thunderbolt. This is coming down to the absolute wire. So Cinderace is at roughly half HP. Yeah, Cinderace is just under half HP. I don't know if I want to risk... I don't know if I want to risk the miss on Hydro. I'm gonna go for a Thunderbolt. Because if he goes for Pyro Ball, he goes for U-turn. Okay. We take down the Cinderace, we're gonna pick up the W. All right, we've snagged a win before the end of the season. That was a very hard-fought game. GG's to Rose. Again, the mix-up with the special and physical attackers on teams is throwing me off whenever that happens. Special Zarude is such a smart play because I was not expecting it at all. And double weakness policy, I mentioned it before that Necrozma was going to be weakness policy. And boy, was I right. But Blood Moon also being weakness policy, I was so caught off guard. And I'm so happy I ran 4 leftover mons this week because I kind of needed it. So again, GG's to Rose. Go ahead and check out Rose's channel in the top right of the screen. The WPF coaches are all listed down in the description, as well as Rose and the other coaches for WPF Delta Division. So go ahead and check them out as well. Thank you guys so much for watching this week. Best of luck, Rose, for the last 2 weeks of the season. Hopefully we can both make playoffs and have a rematch of this absolutely amazing match through and through. One of my favorite matches of this season, and I'm really hoping we can get another battle in before playoffs are over and the season is over. But thank you guys so much for watching. Catch us next week for week 8, and we try to continue this playoff push. Again, thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys later.